One of the great things about fashion is how styles come and go, things change, and there seems to be always something new for us to try and explore. But for the first video of this channel, I thought I'd do a little twist and showcase the pieces that I own that I think are what some folks would call buy it for life. Now these are the pieces that I think could stand the test of time, not just because they're made really well, but also because they seem to be able to adapt through different fashion and style changes throughout the years. Now for reference, I am 5'10", waist of 32 inches, and I weigh about 185 pounds. Now to kick things off, I think we could get started with probably one of the most iconic and recognizable pieces of clothing in American history or modern history. It is the Perfecto motorcycle leather jacket by Schott.
This jacket is so iconic and cool that you could be wearing an onion sack underneath it and you'd still look pretty dope.
Now this jacket has been with me for over a decade now. I would say probably 15 years. I bought it back in 2011 when I first got my motorcycle, knowing full well that there are probably more protective leather jackets out in the market. But so I guess this is both for style and protection from a motorcycle crash. Even though, knock on wood, I've not laid my motorcycle down. This jacket started out fairly large on me. I actually used that as a way to haggle the price down from the store that I bought it from in New York City. And I basically told the guy who owns the store that, hey, this is the last one that you have. It's a little too big for me, so can you cut me a little break? And I think I got for about $750, something like that. Maybe less, maybe $650. Now that I'm looking at the prices on the Schott website, and it's just ridiculous how expensive these jackets could go for. A cool story about this jacket is that it's what I was wearing on my very first ride on a motorcycle by myself. During that ride, I was living in the DC metro area, and if you're familiar with the DC metro area, there's a road called 495, the Beltway, and I was riding from the gym going home, and I basically got caught in a torrential downpour where I could literally only see maybe 5 feet in front of the motorcycle. Otherwise it's just rain, water, and taillights of the other vehicles on the highway. Another time I got caught in a snowstorm with it, and I thought I'll be okay because the snow wasn't sticking on the ground, but as I rode back home, the snow wasn't sticking on the ground, but it was sticking on me. So by the time that I walked into my apartment, I basically looked like a popsicle. All those stories to say that this jacket has been with me throughout the years. All the creases, all the wear and tear imprinted on the leather just reminds me of all the fun adventures that I've had with it throughout the years. And it's something that you can't replicate on a pre-distressed leather jacket. Granted, I could have taken care of the jacket much better than I could have, and it probably would look more pristine than it could, but at the same time, I'm very, very happy with kind of like how it looks now. The jacket and the leather itself has molded basically to my body throughout the years. It's got some tear in the inside flap of the jacket from, layering, but it's okay. It's still functional. Like the outer shell is still great. Here's a couple of ways that you could wear this jacket. One way is I would consider probably a very dated way of me wearing it is with a fitted shirt, a black slim fitting pants, and black boots. If you look at the whole silhouette itself, to me, it kind of looks dated, even though some probably would call this the rock star rocker look. You could even pair it with a wide brimmed hat. I don't know, this is probably how I would have rocked this jacket back in the day, like early 2010s. Probably still today if I was, riding a motorcycle. A more contemporary way of how I would wear this jacket nowadays in 2025 is with an Abercrombie cropped t-shirt, a Uniqlo women's wide-legged jeans, denim, and a nice pair of Iron Rangers. Or you could switch it out for the boots, black boots, or even dress it down a little further with a nice pair of Chuck Taylors. An annoying thing about it though is that when you walk, you could hit your hand with the metal buckle on the left hand side of the jacket, so that's something to watch out for. It's just a piece that I'm really fond of looking at and wearing. Otherwise, it's a pretty darn cool jacket. Now, if you are considering of buying a Perfecto style jacket, you could get the shot version. Or if you want to have a little bit more protection, say you are buying this to be riding a motorcycle but want more protection as well, I would recommend looking at something like Fox Creek. They do the similar Perfecto silhouette and style, but providing with a little bit more protection. I think on some of them you could actually put armor on the elbows of the jacket. And bonus is they seem to be cheaper than the shot version, so there's that. Next up is a winter coat that I got from the side of the road. Kinda. The story about this coat is I used to drive from Brooklyn, New York, where I used to live, back down to the DC Metro to see friends, and I would take the scenic route to avoid the tolls. So I used to pass by the store on the side of the road somewhere in Pennsylvania, but one day I decided to stop by, and lo and behold, I saw this coat, which reminded me of the one that Bane uses, Tom Hardy, in the movie Dark Knight Rises.
Actually, looking back at it now, this coat resembles more what Liam Gallagher of the band Oasis wore during the 1996 Brit Awards, more so than what Bane was wearing in The Dark Knight Rises, which is still great because I am such a huge Oasis fan.
And the guy who actually sold me the coat, the guy who did the whole spiel and sales talk, was the guy who owns the store and actually makes the coats.
I forgot to mention here what the name or brand of the jacket is. I thought for the longest time it was called Pat Garrett, as it says on the inside flap of the jacket, but I believe the actual name of the company is Sycophus Sheepskin, as it says on the website. But yeah, I don't know. I'm confused.
I think the statement that he told me that eventually made me buy the coat is he said, "This is the coat that will probably outlive you and you could probably hand down to all your grandkids." This is such a heavy coat just by weight that you could probably do bicep curls with it and get a decent workout. It's made out of sheepskin leather, and Sherpa lining as well. I think he's right. I think this is probably the last winter coat that I'd ever need to buy. It's been with me through cross-country drives, back and forth, East Coast, West Coast. It's been with me in the desert, keep me warm. I've gone to England with it, explored London with it on. I actually got a pretty good compliment about the coat when I was in London and doing the whole River Thames boat tour, and one of the boat captains, drivers, basically said, "That's a nice coat," and I was like, "Thanks." But yeah, it is a coat that's been with me and kept me warm and protected me from the elements for a good few years now. Say 5. Yeah, 5 years. As far as how I would style this piece, I probably would just go with something simple underneath the winter coat. It's such a overbearing piece of clothing that I think just putting it on in of itself is the statement piece. So you're better off just having something simple going underneath. Simple t-shirt or thermal top, nice pair of slacks or jeans, and a nice pair of leather boots to tie everything together. Now for the next piece, let's go down below towards my feet to talk about the Red Wing Iron Rangers. The Iron Rangers took a little bit to break in, but once they do break in, they are probably one of the most comfortable boots or shoes that I've ever worn. I mean, I could wear these boots on a 14-hour flight to Manila and I'd be okay with it. They're that comfortable now. But it did take a while to get them broken in, but I think it was worth it. This one I bought when I was a digital nomad, doing that whole digital nomad thing, and I just happened to be living in LA, in the Venice area, and stumbled into the Red Wing store. And I'm glad I did, because I think it pays to really put these boots on, try them on before you buy. I usually wear a 10 on sneakers, but I think for these ones I got a 9 instead. But yeah, if you are looking for a pair of boots and are considering the Iron Rangers, I would highly recommend, if you can, try them on before you buy them. They are way more comfortable now after they've been broken in than when I first tried them on. So don't let the first impression of putting the boots on kind of deter you from the boots themselves. If you are buying them vintage or secondhand and you're not the first owner of the boots, then you probably have a better idea if they're comfortable for you or not. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're trying them on and you're at the store. In terms of styling these boots, I think they go well with pretty much everything. Doesn't matter what kind of cut of trousers or pants you wear them with. I would just probably won't recommend wearing them in a more formal event, a more formal setting, unless you could really pull them off. And some people could pull off wearing boots, scratched up boots in a formal setting. But that's probably, an exception rather than a rule. Now, this next piece is actually not a piece of clothing, but rather an accessory. And it's a laptop bag that I saw and bought when I visited Iceland back in 2015. The story about this piece, and it is a laptop bag from Royal Republiq with a Q. I think technically it is a laptop bag, but I see it more of a shoulder bag that you could carry a laptop with. So I guess that makes it a laptop bag. But the story of this piece is that I was visiting Iceland and just roaming Reykjavik. I saw it on the display window. As I was passing by, it just caught my eye right away. Is just how it looks and how rich and deep brown the bag was. And I just saw it as this classic looking bag. I mean, if you took the laptop sleeve that's inside the bag and you told me this was from the 18th century, 19th century, I would probably believe you. I think it's got that really classic look and feel that it could easily be something from, a century or two ago. The way that I used to wear this bag is to have the strap really short, because I would wear it and have it while I was riding on my motorcycle. I think if I crashed, God forbid, if I crashed, I think the bag would have been fine. Maybe the laptop inside would be destroyed, but I think physically the bag would have been fine. When I got the bag, it already has like a really nice looking patina to it, but over the years, it's just gotten better and better. It's got the scratches and the gouges from where I probably hit something like a corner of a table or whatever, but it's got such a really rich and deep character to it that it just looks classic. Now, this next two pieces are probably, I wouldn't consider as buy it for life, but I would like them to be. I would like to have them for life. Now, if that's possible or not, we'll see. It's going to be tricky, especially with this first piece. Now, this piece is a Lucky Brand cardigan, similar to the laptop bag. I saw this also from outside looking into the display window of the store. I was in a cab in New York City and just so happened to see it spotted from the outside from the cab. And I had to get out of the cab and had to check it out. You know when you stumble upon pieces that you just know that you have to buy it then and there? It's one of those pieces. It just also happened to be my birthday that day, so yay! It was my excuse was it was a gift for myself, and it was fairly expensive. I think Lucky Brand was selling them for about 150, 180 back then in 2014. I'm not quite sure, but it's certainly hitting that price point that time where I was kind of hesitant to pay it, mainly because I wasn't really making that much money at that time. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad to have spent the time with it. It is slowly falling apart, but I think I could squeeze in, an extra couple of years here and there if I just take care of it a little bit more or not wear it as much. As you can see, it's got holes in it, it's got tears on the sleeves, it's pretty much on its way out, but it's one of those pieces that I would love to keep. Nowadays, when I wear this cardigan, it's usually paired with the Shot motorcycle jacket, the Perfecto jacket. In a way, the Perfecto jacket serves as a protective layer on top of the cardigan just to preserve it a little bit better. But I also just love the layering effect that happens, especially on the sleeves part, where the part that's falling off of the cardigan is coming out of the leather jacket. I just feel like it looks pretty cool. Nowadays, I probably just wear this with the Uniqlo or whatever wide-legged pants, Iron Rangers, boots again, or clogs. I also have a backup piece. I bought another cardigan that looks kind of similar, also from Lucky Brand, but to be honest, it doesn't have the same spirit as this original piece. It's good enough as a backup, but I'm not as in love with it as I was with the original cardigan that I bought. I think the pattern is just much better on the older cardigan than the newer one. I know they say like some things don't last, but I hope this one does. Now for this last piece, this is actually technically maybe not a buy it for life piece just because of how fragile it could be. It's made out of linen, but I would like to preserve it and have it for the rest of my life. It's actually kind of similar to how I acquired the winter coat. In a sense that I also got this coat from the guy who designed and tailored it himself, Mr. Kaidi. I think that's his name. I'm not sure. But it is the guy who owns and operates Kaidi. I've always wanted a piece from Kaidi. When I used to live in Brooklyn, I would pass by his store, walking by on the way to the gym, and always think to myself that one day I would own a piece from him. Yeah, I got it for my birthday, and I just love the overall aesthetic that the brand is all about, and how it's all about slow fashion and making things last, and how the designs themselves probably could transcend styles and eras. But I just love the overall look and feel of the brand. Hopefully it's not going to be the last Kaidi piece that I own. I'm hoping that I could get a couple more pieces from him. Now how I would style this coat is probably just going for a general overall free flowy feel. You could probably still use an Abercrombie crop t-shirt underneath, a nice pair of wide leg jeans, and either the boots, or you can also go with sandals. Overall, I think you want to go with a free flowy, loose kind of feel with this coat. If you've noticed, I probably don't have a pick for a pair of pants or trousers that I would consider buy it for life. I'm not sure why is that. Maybe because pant styles change so much over the years, but I think I'm still looking for a nice pair. Pants are so hard to have for life, I think, just because as we get older, our waist size probably changes. You get fatter, you get bigger. Maybe that's why I don't have anything picked out as a buy it for life pair of trousers. But if I was to pick a candidate for a buy it for life pair of pants, it would be 501s from Levi's, or this brand in LA called Stronghold, who's got a pretty nice collection of selvage denim. I'm keeping my eye out on their hickory stripe selvage denim as a possible candidate for a buy it for life pair of trousers. So yeah, those are my current collection of Buy It for Life pieces. I hope this video has helped you kind of start thinking about what those pieces could be for you. Maybe start thinking about investing a little bit more, saving a little bit more to buy pieces that would stand the test of time rather than buying something cheaper but probably wouldn't last as long. If you have any recommendations for any Buy It for Life pieces, especially in the trousers, pants department, I'd love to hear them down on the comments below. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Hey, before you go, if you do find this video helpful or entertaining, please do consider leaving it a like. And since this is a new channel, I would appreciate it if you do subscribe. By the time you're seeing this, I would have already have the first few episodes already shot and recorded. I plan on releasing new videos every week. So if you want to stay in touch, please do subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Now for reference, I weigh about 5'10".